Begin transmission.
This program is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised.
Oh, there we are. I got sound, Bill. You sound a little quiet on my end.
Talking, am I?
There
Hey,
you go.
what's happening? I forgot to unmute my mic. Yeah, I got to learn that stuff. Hey, Manic Plastic Toy Shop, Mike, what's happening, man? Mattress Maniac Mexico in the house. Bjorn Jorgensen's here. Sham Bollock's my friend. I didn't see you say that today, so I said it before you. And that's about it tonight. All right. There's about 7 of us in the chat tonight. I don't know if Lack's still live streaming over there or not. You might want to check on that if you want to there. But a lot of the regulars are over there checking out Lack. His channel's coming along, guys. Hey, Jordell Fresh Breeze, good to see you. If you guys haven't subscribed to Lack Sivrite, please do so. He's got a lot of stuff going on over there. He loves a lot of vintage stuff from back in the day. Pulp heroes are on his mind these days. I think we were talking about that earlier when we were doing a little bit of pre-production today.
Yep.
But how have you been doing there, Largo? I kind of understand that you've got your days and nights mixed up, brother.
Yeah, me and that rooster. He crows day or night, and it doesn't help. He's not much of an alarm clock. So yeah.
And I've noticed that he's become part of your channel over there at Largo's Lair too.
Much to my chagrin, at first, after you do about the third take of trying to do a video and you can't get rid of the rooster, you just assume he's just going to be part of the show. So yeah, he's kind of become a mascot now. He was even named by Grindhead Jim. He's been christened Eduardo.
Yeah, we've all been calling him Eduardo. One of the latest videos you did, he was actually down there in the corner, and every time he crowed, you could see him. Mike,
you gotta pick your battles.
Yeah, Mike, check your DMs on Instagram if you want to come in, man. And yes, folks, if you want to come in, ask me. And if I got your DM on Instagram, I'll give you the link to come in. Rolo says you kill the rooster, and I'll give you the recipes. There is a staple that people eat down here, and I've ate them before, and they're pretty damn good, and that's rooster fries. Have you ever had rooster fries?
I have not. I'm not familiar.
Do you know what rooster
I do not. Is it anything like a Rocky Mountain oyster?
It's very similar, but not the same, but yes.
Okay. Then, yeah, I'll pass.
Yeah, they're pretty tasty, man. They're kind of like little chicken nuggets. And look, you guys that eat that McDonald's feces, that may be what you're eating at McDonald's for all you know.
Indeed.
World Made of Cardboard
Cardboard.
says he's off today. He's being a plumber today. Better you than me, my friend, as Becco the magician always said when he came to visit us in school. Oh, I hate plumbing.
Yep, that's the joys of home ownership. There's always something that's leaking or broken that you got to figure out either how to MacGyver or hire somebody to do it.
You know that reminds me. I probably never told any of you guys this, but we got down to way below zero here the other day in this area when that polar vortex or whatever the freak they were calling it came down here and froze us out. And my pipes did not freeze, but the town water stopped flowing because it did freeze.
Mm.
And as a result, I had to turn my water off, and I just left it off until the temperatures came back up. But in the meantime, I didn't know what was going on, so I was concerned that my water was frozen, which it was not. But I had it turned off at the street back there. Well, my future son-in-law was over here at the house, and so I told him that if he wanted to continue to be my future son-in-law, that he would take his ass underneath the house and look around for me. And he
Nice.
did. But he found something, and it's not too disturbing, but it's bothering my wife more than it is me. Apparently, we've got old pipes under this house, and where the sewer pipe leads into the bathtub, that joint where the pipe comes in, it's not in that pipe all the way. It's kind of like this. So when the water drains from the shower, it's most of it's going on the ground right there. So come this spring, I'm going to have to go spelunking, and I don't really look forward to that. But I told my wife, I said, look, it's fine. We don't want it to stay that way, but it can wait till it's spring out there before I get down in the muck and the nasty and cold and you know.
Oh yeah. Well, that's better than I thought. I thought you were going to tell me you went down there and found a family of possums or something.
No, I don't have that problem. No, what we do have a problem with here in town are the squirrels.
Really?
You can't kill squirrels in town. Well, you can with a BB gun, but I don't have one of those anymore. But they're not being hunted, and all they do is eat and get fat. And when you see a fat squirrel, you know that nobody's bothering his ass. He's doing whatever he wants. And I hate squirrels.
Yeah, I had a little squirrel adventure yesterday morning. My dogs were barking like crazy. I didn't know what was going on. I went in the back porch, and I've got a little kind of like a wading pool that we use when it's really hot. And I didn't flip it upside down like I normally do when I was cleaning it. And this squirrel had gotten into the pool, and there was just a little bit of water down at the bottom from the last rain. And he couldn't, it was too slick to climb up. So he was stuck in there, and the dogs were just waiting to try to get to him. So the dogs couldn't get into the pool to get to him, and the squirrel couldn't get out. So I had to go rescue the squirrel.
How did you do that without getting tore up?
I used a stick, the ubiquitous stick. It is the tool of ancient and modern man. I got the dogs back inside. I put a stick and I kind of, cattywamped it against the side of the wading pool, and he shimmied right up, and away he went. So
good deal. Well, looks like Eldor's visiting with us today. Good to see you there, sir. Masters Maniac Mexico Rolo says the recipes for squirrel are similar to those for roosters. It all starts by pulling a trigger.
that's true.
Now you may be joking there, Rolo, but where I live, we do eat those things.
Mm-hmm.
And
I have had squirrel.
Now I don't boil the heads. Do you?
Yeah, no. We just made my grandma, my nana on my daddy's side. She used to make squirrel and dumplings. So she just take the meat and fix it up some dumplings and make a nice stew.
I can imagine the underworld under Grayskull would be pretty dim there, Master Versal Toy Hunter. As a matter of fact, one of the denizens from the underworld of Grayskull is now going to join the collection one day, and that is Frogmonger.
Cool.
I'm looking very much forward to the Frogmonger.
Well, did you pick up any goodies this week, Bill, that have made it to you through your mailbox?
Just a hair, a tad bit. We'll go ahead and pull up the toy cam here. As you can see, there's He-Man. Now, why? I'm sure that everybody's like, Bill, don't you already have a He-Man? Well, that particular He-Man is my I have the power He-Man. He's got his mouth open, his hair's windswept. He's got his power sword there in his hand. Well, the original version of him that I had in my collection, and that's a vintage harness he's wearing on his chest too, by the way. The buck got co-opted to make Hercules, so I wanted to replace that figure, so I bought that at a premium discount from Amazon.
Cool.
It was I guess worn out card or something. The card looked to be in pretty decent shape, except it had a sticker on it from the warehouse. But other than that, I care less. I tore the card up and threw it in the garbage.
Yep. You
Along
can get
with
some good deals every once in a while when you get those warehouse deals, I think they call them.
And of course, I hear, hey, Rolando Flores, good to see you, man. But yeah, I hear all the gaffes out there. You threw the comic in the trash too, Bill. Yes, I did. I have like a umpty million of that particular comic. And something else that I got that I'm going to show here. I've been meaning to get these for a while. I knew that they made these. I don't know what company makes them. It's probably something like that what's that place where you get all them cheap ass toys from? Something trading company.
Figure trading company?
No, it's like Oriental Trading Company. You ever heard of them?
Oh, right. I have. Mm-hmm.
I think that's where these actually came from, but they were selling them on Amazon. But let's see if I can bring them into the camera here. Yeah, there we go.
Ooh, spooky
finger puppets. But
cool.
Yeah, they are tentacle finger puppets. You get 5 in a box. They're all the same puppet. But what I'm thinking of is I can trim them so that they're all kind of different sizes, and I might be able to fit them into my custom Talos Dream Shop Castle Grayskull grate.
Yeah.
So
or you could stick them on a glove and do some toy photography and have the sea creature menacing your He-Man.
That's a good idea. I thought about that as well. There is a tentacle monster that's in the lore that appears, I think, in the 4th mini comic. But yeah, so I got those tentacles, and I'm probably going to repaint them, give them a little texture, paint the bottom so it's a little lighter color than the top. And but one of them is probably going to be the Orlax or whatever the hell it was called of whatever it was that lives down in the Dwell of Souls.
Yeah, there's a couple of different denizens down there that they're apparently starting to mine that for some figure ideas, like your Frogmonger there.
At least they're doing so with the Frogmonger, and they've already done it with the Tentacle Monster because it was released in the Mysteries of Grayskull set. Yeah, the Orlax, that's correct. And of course, I've got the Mysteries of Grayskull set, but the Orlax that comes with that is just way, way, way too big. I mean, you all you need is like a tentacle or two poking up. You don't need, the whole damn thing coming up out of the grate like that. But and yes,
it didn't fit too well.
Spacesuit. I needed that spacesuit to go in Castle Grayskull. Of course, the new Origins one did not come with the spacesuit as it should have. Instead, it came with Sorceress. And Radical Mom has showed up in the house. Hey, Radical Mom. We're waiting on Adam to show up. Adam said he has something special to show us tonight. We'll just let that lay right there. We'll see what it is when he shows up.
Oh,
and
cool.
Once again, Mike, you asked to come on the show. I sent you a DM by Instagram with the link in it. So if you want to show up, that's fine. I know Will's probably going to be here. I don't know what time he actually gets home from work. And looks like Eldor agrees with me about that spacesuit. Let's see what Rolo says here. Great news for Mexico. The biggest convenience store chain around, called Oxxo, now has fully sorted toy shelves. They're like the 7-Eleven of Latin America. Well,
Cool.
oh, there's Mike right there. We can bring Mike in if you'd like there, Largo.
All right. Hey,
Hey,
Mike.
Mike. What's going on, man? Oh, Mike got his head shaved, man. Look at there. I like that haircut, man.
Yeah, it's getting too hot for me.
Oh, it's getting hot.
I ride a bike to work. So
Now you're streamlined. You're
oh yeah.
Yeah. We're experiencing another little cold snap here. Ted Darklaw in the house. Hey guys, just popping in for a few. It's dinner time here in Ohio. Well, all right, have your dinner, man.
Well, while Ted's here, let me give a shout out to Hella Dope Toys and pull up on my toy cam a lovely little something that came to me today. Look at that.
Check that out, folks.
Oh man.
That is some sexy stuff right there. This is the figure obscura, they call it. It's a special edition that Mythic Legions puts out once a year. And this year it was the Headless Horseman was the figure they did. Last year they did Krampus, I think, from Christmas lore. So I missed the boat when it first came out, but I was very fortunate that the boys over at Hella Dope Toys happened to have an extra and sold it to me at a wonderful price. And that showed up today, and it's in mint condition. And I have a Boglin on his way. He'll be in a separate package. I'll probably see him later this week.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. And Ted Darklaw says, "Thank you, Jim. Glad everything got to you."
You had her in here.
Very cool. I did get one other item in honor of Eduardo. I was going to wear it tonight, but it doesn't quite fit with my headphones. So
right.
But I'll show that here if I can. What do you think of that?
Oh, you got an Eduardo hat.
Oh yeah.
I did.
It says cock.
Well, that's what it is.
I got you. All right. Gap After Dark's here. Hey, Gap, what's going on? And let's see. Master Versal's got an interesting idea here. He says he's going to take a smaller Buzz Lightyear figurine and turn it into a custom Castle Grayskull spacesuit.
That's an interesting idea.
Yeah. And he tells me he's just resting today, but I might pop on one of your Friday open mics in the future. All right, well, that's fine, man. And he says, last Christmas, the figure Obscura Father Christmas figure, and you got one of those. Okay.
Oh, cool. That Father Christmas, I forgot. He kind of looks a little bit like Eldor. Got the long beard and all that.
And Gap says, I come in and Largo's showing off a cock hat.
Indeed.
Right.
Got to represent.
Yeah. We do have to represent. So you got, is that the only thing that you got here recently? Or last time I looked, it looked like you had about a stack of boxes from the old mailing store.
I do have a few other odds and ends. They're mostly things for the next Action Force review that I'll be doing. So, standard fare. That was the big deal. That was the big enchilada, was the Horseman coming in.
I got you. That looked like that was probably in a big box when it came, because it's a big box just by itself.
Oh yeah, it's a chunky boy because it's the Horseman and his horse and all the bells and whistles. And I'll probably open that up and I might do a review on it. But everybody and their brother.
Are you gonna do a video of you opening it up? Hopefully,
I can. If anybody's interested, I could do that.
I guarantee you, everybody in here is waiting with bated breath for the day that Largo drops a video on his channel over at Largo's Lair of him opening the Headless Horseman. That is going to be one badass thing to see. I can tell you what I've been up to. I've been over on the Evil Bay. Yes. I went
it's
to
addictive.
First, I went to the Cape Masters site over there on eBay, and purchased a couple of little items. And then I went somewhere else and I purchased a couple of little items. And then I went over to the chop shop and got some more. I got a torso and some arms. And I got in touch with my friend Lee over at Lee Customs.
Hmm.
And I asked him, I said, look, you've done me well so far with a Warlord head and a Hercules head and a Conan head. I said, well, do you have an Eric head, or have you done that, or have you had it available yet? And he says he has not had a chance to pour that, but he is in the process of doing that. Stay tuned, folks.
Okay.
I've already got the pieces I need to build an Eric figure. And I'll tell you the recipe that I'm planning on using. Of course, Lee's head for him. And I'm going to use the torso and arms from Hulk Hogan.
For the skin color, the tone?
Yeah, because he's got that tan, you know, that real deep, almost orange tan about him. I think that with the Eric head on there, it'll give you that Native American feel, that Indian feel.
Now, Bill, you being kind of a master of lore and pulp heroes, maybe you can clear up some confusion for me, because this fella that was in that line of Remco toys was a DC comic book hero, right?
Eric, Lord of Thunder.
Eric. Mm-hmm.
Actually, he's Eric, Son of Thunder. All right.
Son of Thunder. Now, I get him confused. There was another fella by the name of Turok, and he was like Son of Stone or something like that.
Turok was a caveman.
Right. But because he hunted dinosaurs, but he was also somehow related to the Native Americans or indigenous folk somehow.
Don't know much about Turok, but I can tell you a little about Eric.
Okay.
All right. Eric's got, there's a little bit of mysticism involved in that. Michael, do you know anything about Eric, Son of Thunder?
I don't.
All right. The comic was I think Roy Thomas might have been involved in that. It was a Bronze Age comic. It lasted, I think. It lasted a good while. I want to say a little more than 12 issues, maybe 12 issues. I think the story was told in the comics. They even brought the character back for that Convergent shit that I didn't read. But basically, Eric's mother was an Indian princess. And one of the evil gods was a snake of some sort, had bitten her. And she was saved by He-No, and He-No was the god of thunder. And He-No brought her to his realm, and he cured her, and He-No fell in love with her, and they eventually got married. Now, she didn't love He-No as much as He-No loved her, and she longed to be back with her people on the mortal plane of Earth, and He-No loved her so much that he allowed her to go back home to her people. And when she came home to her people, she was pregnant with He-No's child, Eric. And the shaman there, or the medicine man or whatever, could tell that she had been touched by the gods. And one thing led to another. The tribe was completely wiped out except for her. And she was placed adrift upon the ocean in a canoe. And or Eric, he was just a boy at that moment. And anyway, he was saved by Vikings, and he was raised by Vikings, and was for a while a Viking lord or warrior. He was a Viking warrior who even participated in the raids upon England and France and like that. And mostly upon monasteries. That's where they got most of the treasure was located. So they always looted those first.
Now, did he ever hook up with the Viking prince that was in the DC comics?
I don't believe so. I know that he eventually wound up in the court of Carolus Magnus.
Charlemagne.
Charlemagne, exactly. That's exactly who Carolus Magnus was. He ended up in the court of Carolus Magnus, and he actually became a warrior there. He became a sorcerer. He was able to control the wind. Lot involved with that. He eventually embraced his native roots and began dressing as an Indian instead of as a Viking. And the comic even gave him an end where he lived to an old age and eventually died. But
So
that
somebody
was-
put a lot of time and effort into this backstory for this fellow.
yeah, very much so. And now I have not read any of these comics. Believe it or not, I've only read synopses and stuff on say Wikipedia or on the DC wiki that's out there about the character in my quest for a little more knowledge about him. The figure itself is what. Hey, Epic Badger, good to see you there, Jesse. But yeah, that's what that's what's really spurred me is the figure. These Remco figures. Eventually, someday, if Lee is willing to do this and Kate Master is willing to help me out with some clothing on those to keep me from having to purchase vintage stuff, I want to have a full line of the Warlord figures. Now, I can't go too deep into like the Warrior Beasts and all that crap, but the Warlord figures. I knew nothing of the Warlord. I knew nothing of Eric. I knew nothing of Hercules or any of these characters as a kid. My onlyest thing that I ever saw were those comic ads in the back of the comics for the figures.
Okay.
It made me want them so damn bad. And I never had any of them. I always wanted them. They were sold not in big chains. I think they were sold in Kmart. Well, we didn't have Kmart down here. We had Big K. Do you remember Big K?
Vaguely.
Yeah. Well, that was like it was like Kmart, but it wasn't Kmart.
Right. No blue light specials.
No, I never saw these figures in the wild as a kid, except on the backs of comic books. And
Well, the line, I don't think it was in the stores for very long. Maybe one season or maybe two.
About it. It didn't last long. Now, if you remember, I think I covered this a long time ago when I dropped a video about the Warlord himself.
Mm-hmm.
The Remco and these figures spurred a lawsuit from Mattel.
Really?
It did. Mattel was deep into He-Man, and of course these were knockoffs. Okay, there's no doubt about it. The way the figures are shaped, the body types, the wrestling stance that they're in.
Right.
They were pretty much knockoffs of He-Man. They were meant for children to be able to play with them with their He-Man toys. They were the same scale down to the wire. Now, they were built differently, but they were close enough to where, I mean, Grandma would probably buy you one of these instead of He-Man and thinking she was buying you a He-Man toy.
Sure.
So, yeah, Mattel sued them. They said they copied their design, and they said that the stance that the figures was in was their copyright, their trademark, that they weren't allowed to use it.
Wow. That sounds like a stretch there.
It's very much a stretch. As a matter of fact, it's such a stretch that they actually lost that lawsuit.
Good.
The ruling was that that was a classic wrestling stance and that you can't copyright that. And that the Bucks were Muscle Man Bucks. You can't copyright Muscle Men. There have been Muscle Men around ever since people have been lifting heavy shit up with their arm.
Yeah,
that's true. Mattel does have a history of crying foul, even if they don't deserve it. They did that with some other stuff too.
Of course, that lawsuit opened up the gates, the floodgates for people like Sunco and what have you to start releasing all kinds of knockoff figures that looked like the He-Man figures. There were of course, Remco's Warrior Beast. There was the Pirates of the Galaxies.
Yeah.
There was let's see, I'm trying to think of some others. Of course there was the Galaxy Warriors and the Galaxy Fighters, and then there was the plethora of wrestling figures that Remco released as well, using these same bugs.
Mm-hmm. They just changed the heads and a little bit of paint and called it good.
Pretty much. So yeah, that's kind of how that came about. But like I said, by being enthralled as I was by those comic ads in the back, I always wanted these figures. And
Sure.
and now with the Motu Origins figures and the ability to mix and match and do a lot of customization with the bodies themselves, and people like Lee Customs, who I shout out once again, who are taking those old vintage heads and casting them in resin and putting the correct size hole in the neck so that it fits on the pin. We can recreate these figures with our Origins figures.
Well, that's really cool.
What's going on with you, Michael? Are you awful quiet down there below me?
Not too much. Just painting a little bit.
What you painting, man?
Trying to touch up a lot of figures I got, like the old Batman figures.
Mm-hmm.
I got you, kind of bringing them back to life there. Yeah, that's Bruce Wayne there.
They're all dinged up. Yeah.
Did you find them at a yard sale or
I got them off a lot of eBay.
Oh, okay.
Like maybe $20 for a bunch of them.
Yeah, get a whole lot of figures in one big bag or a box or something, and you kind of go through there and try to see what's good and what's not, and what you can fix.
Yeah, you don't collect the Masterverse, do you?
I don't. The only Masterverse figure that I've ever bought so far out of the line has been the Stratos figure, which I got from Big Bad Toy Store here recently. And you guys can laugh at me all you want, but I spent all that money just to take that rubber collar off of his neck and stick it on my neck at Stratos over here. So
that didn't make no sense why they did that. Have you seen the Too Bad? That thing's huge.
Yeah, I saw it online, but I haven't seen it in person.
I've got it right here.
All right. He's gonna go check that out. Let's see. Masters Maniac Mexico says, although I'm being ignored here today, I will ask again. I got a present from Burley. It is a so-called Smash Mystery Pack. Do you know anything about the Smash Mystery Pack? No, Rolo, I don't. And no, sir, I'm not ignoring you, sir. I'm busy chatting with my friends here in this, and if you want to come on, you certainly can. I will Discord you a message to you with the link if you want me to. Say yes or no.
Yep. And as far as what he mentioned in the chat, I was kind of ignoring that because I don't know if he cleared that with Grindhead or not to show that for public consumption. So
and there you got your answer right there. If Grindhead Jim said you can't show that, you ain't showing it.
I don't want to get him in trouble.
Well, yeah, we're looking out for you there, bro. Let me get you up full screen where you can show up. There's Too Bad, okay?
That thing it's huge.
He's massive. He certainly
wow.
is. The Masterverse figures are about 7-inch figures anyway. And
I think this is 8.
8-inch, yeah. And of course, Too Bad is a combination of two different characters kind of smashed together.
Yeah.
Okay. It's interesting that they gave them different stances too, so it's obvious they're two different figures mashed together. I like that.
And one of the things I always wish that they had done, I've seen prototype drawings of Too Bad, and would be a super deluxe pack where you get two figures, one of each one of them, and then you can combine them into Too Bad if you wanted to.
That would be a bad idea.
Yeah, what was it? The Centurions, the bad guys for that. You could take them apart and put them together kind of like that. They had two different pieces for their cyborg villains.
Look, I'm not involving myself in that. It sounds like none of my business, Rolo. Epic Badger says, these Southern gentlemen are not ignoring you. Unlike you efficient German, Southern gentlemen take their time while having a conversation. Like ants.
That's right. We may take the long way around the barn, but we'll eventually get there.
Absolutely. I'm going to I'm going to do something that I shouldn't do. I'm going to open Discord up here on this computer. I think
Uh-oh.
I've got it installed in here, and I'm going to send Rollo a message so that he can come
Alrighty.
on. Aaron, what's going on, man? Hey, he says Super John. Good to see you guys. Good to see you, Super John. Let's see. Discord.
Well, I picked up a couple of Masterverse. I have basically just the core figures. The newest one I ordered was the Roboto because I'm a sucker for robots. So he'll
I
be
got
coming
that
here
right.
soon. Do you like him? I haven't got him in hand yet.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. He stands up real well.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
That's the main part with a lot of the female characters. They fall over. The legs are.
Yeah, they do need a stand.
Yeah.
It's great that they have the extra articulation, but that also causes them to be a little, tough on the shelf.
Right. That's what happened with my X-Men, the animated series Storm. Her hair is too heavy.
Big chunk of plastic. Yep.
Now,
Yeah,
I'm just curious. When that happens to me, can you guys still talk to each other?
What's that?
There does seem to be a bit of a delay,
Right.
and so it's hard to tell what it looks like on the other end on the YouTubes. But we are, we're known for being rinky dinks, so people are used to us stuttering and freezing here and there.
Yeah, we can hear each other.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I opened Discord up, and when I open Discord up, when it's loading, it takes a lot of resources away from what we're doing here. So, and it's still loading, by the way. And Super John, check your messages on Instagram if you want to come on the show. I sent you a link.
So you tried opening Discord and you ended up opening Pandora's box.
Well, it's just the nature of the beast. All right, I got it open here. All right, so here we go. Rollo Rotbert is online. And
yeah, I gotta figure that Discord thing out. I am hesitant to learn new programs because I'm an old fart and I'm not tech savvy. But
I've got one.
It's no different than any other thing. But like I was telling you, it's made for kids. The gamer kids basically.
Rollo is a kid at heart, so that kind of fits.
Okay, Super John says driving, listening on the way to dinner. Okay, man, no problem.
Cool.
Small delay, not too much. It's okay now, says Radical Mom. Yeah, my fault opening Discord, but it's open now, and the message has been sent. And now that it's open, I'm just going to throw it down here or actually put it into my tray where it'll sit and hopefully not hog too many resources. So I think we're all back up and running now. I don't know if there's any. Don't look like there's not too much delay. No latencies.
No, seems to be working.
Yes, seems fine on this side.
Okay. Masters Maniac Mexico says I'm on my way, and Ted Darklaw says Discord is a modern day online forum. He's correct.
Okay.
Basically, you as a person, you don't have to, but you can. You can set up a server in there with all these different channels in it. And people join your server and then they can look in these channels and there's like conversations going on in there. It's kind of like chat over here in each one of the channels.
Oh, okay.
All right.
And, that doesn't sound too complicated.
It's not. And you don't have to have a server just to be on there. You can go on there and just travel around to each person's server. When you join a server, you'll have a list of the servers that you're in. And it will give you a ding whenever somebody starts talking in one of those servers. That gets annoying. So you learn how to go over there and tell it to shut up and leave you alone. whatever that's called. And then if there's certain channels and certain servers that you're more interested in, you can have those give you a message telling you somebody's active in there. And then you can fix it so that it tells you whenever somebody mentions you, or you can do instant messaging over there as well. So it's just, and of course you become friends with people as well. You have to friend someone and they friend you back, and then y'all can talk together, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Do we have to be friends? Can we just be acquaintances?
Online, the online definition of friend is different from the real definition of friends in real life.
That is true, because none of these folks will come over and help me move.
Oh, well, right. And that's like Facebook started this thing with the friend on Facebook. You know, I always remember that episode of South Park where Stan's dad stands at the door. Stan, I thought you loved me. I'm your dad. You won't friend me on Facebook.
Oh, Lord.
So yeah, that Facebook ruined the idea of friend by making it so that in order to connect with someone on Facebook, you had to be friends.
Indeed. Yeah, I guess I'm just not so friendly in my old age. I don't get on there much.
Well, you know, that reminds me. I went to a motorcycle rally here on the coast called the Biloxi Blowout, and it happens every Memorial Day down on the coast. And usually there's a large red and gold presence there. And one of the red and gold guys was selling patches and stickers for the club. You know, they're in the red and gold colors, and you could buy them, put like a sticker on your motorcycle helmet or a patch to put on your cut. And the patch said, "Fuck you, I have enough friends."
Wow.
That sounds very much like something an MC would enjoy. Now, have you ever gone to Sturgis? Have you done that experience?
You're talking about North Dakota? No. I've got a couple of my brothers. They rode all the way up there on their bikes. And one of them came back with a patch that he bought while he was up there that said, "I rode my bike to Trailer Week."
Because a lot of folks they'll trailer up on.
Well, most of we call them rubs. That stands for Rich Urban Biker. These guys will trailer their bike to about maybe 25 miles outside of Sturgis, then make their old lady drive the pickup into town with the trailer while they ride their bike in, pretending like they rode all the way to Sturgis.
Wow. Is that like the urban cowboys back in the 70s when dudes would dress up with their cowboy hats that never seen a cow or a farm?
I can tell you now that that there are people playing dress up who ride motorcycles, and they ride them one day a week, and they don't ride them more than 15 miles. And their leather looks awful brand new to me. Mine looks like hell.
Yeah, you kind of have to wear that in.
Yeah, well, new leather is usually the giveaway. Ted Darklaw, Jim, a 6-pack of piss beer, a pizza, and a plane ticket, and I'll be there.
Excellent. If I ever have any need to move, I know who to call now. And we have plenty of beer here in Guatemala and rum, and the rum is good.
Have I ever told you the difference between a friend and a brother, Largo?
I am familiar, but you might regale our audience.
Have you ever heard the difference between a friend and a brother, Mike?
I don't think so.
All right. Friends come to help you move. Brothers come and help you move a body.
That's true now.
Yep. You got to know who to call.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So this week's been kind of a piss week for me. I've had a bummer at the beginning of the week, and it's been downhill ever since. But I'm kind of glad it's all kind of over with, and I'm here with my friends. You guys keep me sane. I can tell you that now. It's good to have the chat here with me, hanging out with me.
I was going to say, there's only a couple brain cells between us to share, so we got to be careful.
Yeah. Yeah. Rolo said he's on his way, so we'll kind of hang out here and see what Rolo's got to say when he gets here.
So what's
Yeah.
the
What's
Go
that,
ahead,
Mike?
Mike.
what you think the somebody said there was another surprise purchase from Mattel.
Mm-hmm. Mega J Retro, I saw on his channel, he was talking about that. We don't know what it's going to be. We don't know if it's Motu or Hot Wheels or what, but it's some sort of Mattel doohickey.
Could be Keklar. We don't know. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't think it would be very smart of them to do either Grayskull or Keklar at this point. Do I
Right.
think that they probably will? Yes. And Keklar, I know. Shirella, probably. And King Grayskull, if they do, it will be very much slightly different from the one that's going to come with the Eternia set. And I would imagine they would wait until the very end of the line to release that, and it would be a Mattel Creations thing.
Yeah, I just wish they'd pace them out a little better because it's hard on the wallet when they put all these things out all one after another.
Exactly. Exactly. The Camo Con and it seemed like they turned right around and did Frogmonger. Here's Rolo. Let's bring Rolo in the house. What's happening, my German friend who lives in Mexico?
there he is.
Look at that studio. You got
Love
kind of the
that
discotheque going on.
Oh yeah.
Ahoo, discotheque. Ahoo. Got a little bit further with my studio. That's true. That's true. I
looking
even got
good.
it covered. It's there, and there's Grayskull already standing there. So we're getting there.
Getting
So,
there.
First
How are
things
you doing, Rolo? I know we talked last time we talked. It wasn't you weren't as spry as you look right now. So you look like you're
I
feeling a
got
lot
pumped.
better.
I got pumped today, so I got my special nutrition. I went to the
Excellent.
hospital. I got my special nutrition, and I got a couple of more appointments and new medicamentation. So I'm pretty positive. I'm here like 2 hours, and I'm stiffed because they just gave me just like. Have you ever seen how they feed goose?
Mm.
Mhm.
That's pretty much what they're doing to me, right?
Okay, all right, okay.
All right.
Well, I'm glad you got the new meds. I'm glad you got the food and everything's going good for you there, Rolo. Now
Yes.
you were hinting at something that
Yeah, and that's the first thing. So I got a digital present from Burley, digital and real. So what
Uh-huh.
she did is she went with a local common, let's say something like Sears. That's called Sunborse here. It's everywhere, and she bought a digital value for comics because she said no, you need to read something, and I got this from
Ooh.
her.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm talking about. I don't know what's in it. It just says Smash Mystery Pack, 5 comics of surprise.
Okay.
Nice.
What I could find out is that is probably core comics, reprints, obviously, but it is
Well, the
probably core
story's
comics.
still there. The story's still there, even if it is a reprint, right?
Yeah, that'll
Yeah.
be a fun read.
I don't know what's in there, but I'm very happy that I have that, and that is my repay pick of November, December, and January. But it's
Yeah.
5 comics in there, so it's more than enough.
That was a very thoughtful gift from a very thoughtful
Thank
friend.
you, Burley, wherever you are, for sending Rolo a surprise happy there. I'm sure
No,
that makes.
She just knows, right? Although she is not bloodline family, I call her my sister. She's a little bit older, and she takes really care, and she just knows where I am, and she knows the clinic and everything, and she knows this establishment is just next to it, and she says, "So why don't you go while you're waiting? Why don't you go there? I got a little surprise for you laid back there." So I went there, and I got this, and I'm very happy.
All right, I've got 4 in the chat, so one person's got to go because I've got Adam from Radical Toys here with a special presentation for us. Look at that shark. No laser beams on top of it, though, right?
No,
laser.
it is the first sculpting, and I just gave it a brush naturally and quick just to see. It is a raw white sculpting so far. The only thing that I say is I'm working on that, and it's
Cool.
me. And it's
What?
me working on that because it's not going to be. We spoke officially about that, so I can let
Right.
it out. Jim doesn't want that to be a official Resurrection Toys thing. He still
Right.
thinks that's kind of a joke. I'm going to prove him wrong. But
All right, hang on just a
Let me-
second,
let me-
Rolo.
Let me say this. Let me say this real quick before we get too deep into this. I will say this about laser sharks. If there's a way for me to have a laser shark, please
Yeah.
fix that up for me. I'll pay for it. I don't give a damn. I want a freaking
No,
laser.
now I want to do something for you if you of course you decide that. But
All right,
you
just
always
one second, Rolo. Mike, I'm going to drop you out for a minute, but hang
Okay.
around. I'm going to bring Adam in because he wanted to show something.
Don't
off.
leave the green room is what he's saying, Mike. You stay
Mhm.
in the green room. All right.
You can also drop me
There
out.
we go.
Hey, guys.
Hey, is that you, Adam? It looks like Stinkor.
It's me. Yeah, that's me. How you guys doing?
All right. So you perfected the puppetry to the point where you can now be a puppet on screen forever.
No mommies. Oh,
yeah.
look at
God,
that.
the
That's
spirits. Oh,
great.
somebody's
That's
shit in here.
I'm
Oh my
smelling you guys
God.
out of here.
That's
Gonna have to
great.
open a window.
Oh my God. How do you do that, man?
It's more than
Adam,
I
you're-
can stand.
you're
And
absolutely-
you know what's
you're a-
you know what's
you're a
really funny?
wizard.
You know what's really funny, Bill, is this was your idea, so now you'll never see my real face again. You're forever gonna see puppets.
Okay. Well, I hate to hear that, but I mean, maybe if Disney you can show your face. But yeah, this is amazing. You're a wizard with these
Oh,
online.
Adam, we are bikers. We are
virtual
bikers
puppets.
here. We're going to do some the real Adam memory patches. So we're going to do some patchwork there. Don't worry.
Memory patches for the real Adam. Okay,
The real
For
Adam.
Ted
We know
Dark.
him. We have seen him. He exists.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh, there's,
Eldor saying hey to you, and he
Yep.
says, "Oh dear, don't brush that smell away." What? Hee hee ha ha. All right, yeah, that Stinkor's got the green stink there from him.
That is just so realistic and so outstanding. It's almost 3-dimensional, right? It pops out
And
of
then
the screen here.
it's also the face is somebody's got some kind of facial recognition. So when he blinks, the puppet blinks. When he moves his eyes, the puppet moves his eyes.
yeah.
You can move the arms too, Adam. or-
He can wave at us if he wants to with the arms and stuff like that. So it's kind of neat.
Yeah, you can do like the wave. There's a wave.
And,
Look
Nice.
at that. Look at that.
you know, Radical Mom says, "Ooh, oh no, is that Radical Toys? Yes, that is your son there, Miss Atwell." And,
Nothing
Yeah,
has changed between the first
amazing
9
us
months
with-
and
Well,
now.
it's
Still
you never
smelling.
know what's gonna come on to Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures, right? That's what it's all about.
That's true. We like the weird and fantastic, and you've hit both categories.
speaking of Adam and his artistic wizardry,
Oh, that's just
did you tell me
great.
that he's
That's
working on
just
something
great.
there for you for Eduardo?
Well,
Yep.
yep. I was chatting with Adam earlier, and I mentioned my nemesis next door, and he said he might be able to conjure up a little something for my channel when Eduardo's popping around. So we'll see what he comes up with, and just stay tuned.
Jim,
See what happens.
Jim, you know I
So
know
y'all go check
people,
out
right? So
Largo's
if
lair
it's
here
getting
in-
too annoying, just
He might be a protected species now, Rolo, because a lot of people in the chat they seem to like Eduardo. They gave him a name. They want him on the show more than me. I think I'm going to give. I'll be his co-host.
Yeah, I
Just-
believe Eduardo is your co-host over on Largo's Lair. It seems like at least he's like Paul Schaefer at any
Exactly. He's.
any
I just need to get him a
Eduardo that
keyboard.
kicks me out at 5 o'clock in the morning without having a good reason for that is just fried chicken.
There you go.
Well, the problem with Eduardo is he doesn't crow in the mornings like a chicken should. He crows whenever he feels like it all during the day and night. As you can see, whenever
Oh yeah.
Largo's cutting videos there, Eduardo has to say his piece in them.
Yeah, he doesn't have any kind of sense of time. He crows at 2 a.m. Whenever it's dark out in the middle of the afternoon.
Let
He doesn't
me say goodbye here to Ted Darkclaw. Says he got to run, guys. Share
Bye,
the link
Ted.
on
Thank you
IG,
for
so
being
maybe
around.
someone will come and fill my seat on the chat. If you're still on in a bit, I shall return. If not, have a great show. Well, thank you, Ted. Hopefully, you'll be back here a little later. And
Well,
it's
a
good
reminder to folks, those of you who are Action Force fans, Ryan Laserpants on the 3POA later tonight is going to be doing a premiere of the Lovely Ladies of Action Force Series 3. He's got them in hand. He's going to show them off.
That sounds like something right up your alley, Adam.
Oh,
And to
yeah.
mine as well.
Oh yeah, probably.
To mine as well. The problem with me and soldiers is that before Action Force, it really was nothing on the market. Now it's available and I can afford it. But I do love soldiers. So I know I make myself at least I put myself to discussion. I know that. But I grew up with that thing, and you also can understand these things historically. No, I've been grown up in a Germany that has been divided by a wall. Cold War, war preparation was a daily issue for us, even at school. So sorry, guys. I grew up with tanks running around in my street,
Right.
and I like him. I sit on them. I sit in them. I like them as toys or whatever, right? I know what's behind them, but I love that stuff, and I love that it's coming back.
Now, in your younger days, when you were a spry buck, were you did you have to enlist? Was there mandatory service in Germany?
Yeah, still mandatory service. Nowadays, no, but when I was young, yes, it was mandatory. Yes, it was.
So it's like
Which
a
side of
2-year
the-
service?
which side
Yes.
of the wall did you grow up on? Did you grow up on the western side or the eastern side, Rolo?
I did, but I do have a history of a divided family as one of the brothers of my mother and the first wife of my grandfather got trapped behind the wall, or first there was no wall, but it was sectors, and they have been very closed as well. So, and my grandfather was, to kept it short, still captured. And when he came home, all this situation has been so manifested that he was not able to get his wife, neither his son, back over the sector borders. And he married again, which cost my mother. And here I am. But we have a story of divided, and I lived the tumbling down of the wall in a very active moment of my life. I was 14 years old, so old enough to recognize this.
Yeah.
And old enough to get all the emotions right. And well, if you want to ask some things later on that, Jim Largo, go and ask. I'll tell you things.
I will. Now, what I really want to know, did you get to meet David Hasselhoff? Because I know he was there at the wall.
Oh yeah, well, David Hasselhoff is I never got to meet him, although I love Knight Rider. I have to confess that. For the songs, I already was. No, I'm a
Right.
rock. I'm a rock guy.
I'm just teasing you. I just that's
for those of
kind
you-
of
for
one of
those
those
of you-
memes where
Yeah, for
the
David
Hoff
has
is
a-
popular
Hoff,
in Germany.
It's not popular. He is a national anthem and an anthem.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. For those of you who,
he is.
yeah,
really,
for those
he's
of you who
really
may not know, David Hasselhoff is big over there in Germany, much bigger than he is over here. He's like a
Oh,
national
yes.
hero. over
And
there
when he
in
had that
Colorado.
hamburger video ongoing, it was just
Oh, I
us, just saying, "Oh, the sad guy," and saying, "Okay, this had happened to me before as well." So again, we identify with him very much, and he was invited to the big shows as soon as he got back on his knees, and he's still doing very successful music, at least over there. It's
Well,
just
good.
like half a year ago that he published an album together with a heavy metal band that is pretty popular in Germany. and I can say he did pretty. He did pretty good.
Well, that is
I like it.
interesting.
Okay.
I like.
I
All
got.
right. Well, let's throw things down here at Adam. What's going on there at Radical Toys, Adam?
Oh, lots of stuff going on. I actually got a live stream going on there with Ostradamus Toys there tomorrow night. It's going to be
Okay.
tomorrow night at 10 p.m. my time, so ADT time. There's going to be a nice little special. We're going to be doing something really fun on his channel too. So that's kind of some stuff
That's
going on. I actually got a stream going on or live unboxing tonight. I'm opening your Lady J that you sent me for Christmas. Actually, that's tonight.
All right, and that's what time? Your time? That's like 10 o'clock your time.
11 p.m. So that would be 9
11
p.m. Central Time.
That's correct. Yeah. All right. So I'll have to be there for that. I think I missed the Baroness opening, or I might have been there for a little while and then had to leave.
Yep.
And,
Yeah, that's pretty much what's going on here.
Master Versal says that he will certainly be there. It looks like Largo's internet took a dump on him. Well, while Largo's gone, we'll bring Mike back in because he's been waiting
Sure.
very patiently down there in the green room.
Yeah, no worries.
So pretty busy there, Adam. So you say that we'll no longer see your happy face on camera again. It'll always be puppets.
Probably because that's kind of be my theme, right? That's going to be my thing. So I prefer to do it that way. I always wanted to do it. I just wasn't sure if I could ever figure it out. And then I just kind of forgot about it. And then you sparked it. And I was like, okay, I got to figure out how to do this. And by the time you had your stream with the Frogmonger, I figured it out at the very end. Like when the
I was
stream
kind of
over.
hoping that you could come on as Frogmonger that night, but it didn't work out that well.
Yeah, I was kind of bummed out too because I really wanted to.
But yeah, maybe the next time we see you, you'll be somebody other than stinky old Stinkor, though.
Oh, I'm gonna be a different puppet every time.
Okay, that sounds cool, man.
Yeah, you
And,
never know what I'm gonna be.
and mix and match, man. I've seen your Superman puppet. That's a pretty cool one. You have a Batman puppet.
I got anything from Batman, Superman. I've got Thundercats. I've got.
Oh wow.
I think I've got Spider-Man. I've got Dick Tracy. I got everything.
That's cool.
Pretty cool, isn't it, Mike?
Oh yeah.
Hey,
I would love to see Dick Tracy.
Rolo, I got a question for you. This is on a little different subject.
Yeah.
There's a really, really good band. It's a very favorite of mine. And whenever I get on YouTube, I always go over and check out some of the stuff that they do. They're from El Salvador. Have you ever heard of a band called GXS or GSX, Generation X from El Salvador?
Generación X, of course. They are very big in all over Latin America, and they play here pretty frequently. What I can say in general about Latin American countries, putting politics and economical development apart, you pretty much will find yourself in the middle of the 80s living here. So pop culture is alive, pop culture is alive, live concerts are happen from Thursday to Sunday every weekend, no matter where you go. They play music on the goddamn bus, right? They even play.
The GNX channel here on YouTube, I suggest that everyone, if you get a chance, go check it out. If you go down their catalog, they do have individual songs on there, but there are a couple of full concerts on there.
Yeah.
And if you were a kid in the 1980s and you remembered cartoon shows like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mazinger Z, Heidi,
it's
that. They sing covers of all of the theme music from like Thundercats, and sometimes they even have cosplayers come on the stage and kind of dance around while they're singing, and it's kind of a rock and roll / metal feel to the music.
Yes.
But it's an excellent band. Now, a lot of the songs that they're singing are actually in Spanish. And if you guys have never seen the Spanish version of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, the theme song has lyrics.
Yes.
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah.
Yes. And yeah, if you like those guys, I also leave you with Soda Stereo, which are equally to be mentioned. They are very popular in the same kind of niche, and they did the Transformers here.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah,
That's cool.
almost everything has its own melody and its own name. Most likely, characters have a different name, as we also see it in the vintage line of Masters of the Universe with our loved or not beloved Orko, who is called differently here, right? He has a different name here.
Okay. Did our internet take a dump there, Largo?
It did. Sorry, guys. My
Welcome back.
my service here is kind of iffy when we have thunderstorms because Eduardo
here-
is
Hey,
out
it's
there
Will.
chewing on the
Oh,
communication
he is
lines.
home. So here in Latin America it's Gorpo for Orko, and you see that with a lot of characters over several brands happening, that they just have a different name and that they also have a different characterization. I have to tell you that things are far more family friendly still. And they, at least in Mexico, do keep an eye on things like language on TV and on cartoons and presenting sexuality or things like this. So you can say it's still far more conservative. Even if you got modern comics, probably the translation would be way different to the original, according to what I just said.
All right. Wilhelm Toy and Hobby is in. So
I go out. Just let me say again. I do have that thing. I want your thoughts on that. I'm working on 6 different characters here. I'm not taking that as a joke at all, Bill, right? You're asked for
Okay.
those, and those will be given, right? And we have that agreement that I can do whatever I want with that. And I will give you 6 different characters. Just help me a little bit. And maybe you can help me a little bit with that before I go, Bill. I wanted to say, if you want me to invite to one of your Patreons, then I could present some of the sketches that I made about the different characters and what they finally will look like.
next time we have a Patreon get together, Rolo, I will make sure that I send you a Discord message. Okay.
All right, my friend. And then I come in and show you that as an exclusive to your guys. And then you tell me. And then you tell me a color scheme. You tell me different. They will have lasers in different spaces. I have names and stuff like this. So, and I'm sketching on them. 6 characters I have in mind, a little backstory. I
Very
hope you'll
cool.
be surprised.
It sounds great, and that may be an incentive for me to get a few more Patreons. If you want to see Rolo's exclusive Laser Sharks designs and help Rolo design them along with me, I would like for you to consider becoming a Patreon of this channel by going over to Patreon. I think I've got something I can show on that. Do I have that? No, I've got Streamlabs up there. I took my Patreon one down.
Never change a winning team, my friend. Your stream is running well. And I say thank you for the screen time again. It was a pleasure to see you guys. And always is a pleasure. And Jim Largo, please contact me as soon as you can. No, Bill can tell you how you can reach me on Discord. So far, this would be the easiest, as we can also do phone calls over that.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
we'll definitely we'll make that happen. Thank you, Rolo.
I'll walk you through installing Discord tonight if you want to, Largo.
Okay. If my
I'm going to
internet
hang
holds, that'd
around
be
anyway.
great.
I'm going to hang
Okay.
around anyway, guys. No? Just make
Sure.
the place free for the great Wilhelm Toy and Hobby.
All right, Rolo, you can hang out in the green room. I'm just going to take you out. Oh, he took himself all completely out.
Yep.
All right. And Mike, I'm going to have to let you go tonight, man. It was good to see you. And we'll chat again soon, okay?
That's fine. I'll see you in the chat. I'll see you.
See you, Mike.
All right.
I don't mind sitting out if you
We'll
want
see you
to
later,
stay.
No, I'm going to let you stay in here and stink up the room, man.
We're okay
Jeez.
with 4.
Okay.
More than
Here,
4
here I
kind of
come,
bogs the system down.
chasing
How
up
you
all
doing,
the fun. That's not what I meant to do. Hi, everyone. Rollo, please come back
It's
to me,
okay.
buddy.
It's okay, Will. Like I said, we're not chasing them off. I think they had what they had to say said, especially Rolo. I think he wanted, he had a few specific things he wanted to get off
Well,
his chest there, and he did.
Yeah, no, that was cool. I was actually enjoying listening about the alternative theme songs in Spanish. There's some real bangers when if you get into it and you listen to them. My favorite Spanish versions are the Disney's Gummy Bears in Spanish is brilliant, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is pretty good too. If you ever get a chance to check those out, you should. But yeah,
And,
unfortunately, I got home from
Yeah.
work and I ate something and I fell asleep, and then I just woke up now. So
Well, good. That means you're bright-eyed, and bushy-tailed, right?
Yes.
yeah.
You're spry.
So
Have you
I missed a little
completed
bit of it.
have you completed your prints there on the 3D printer yet? There, Will.
Yeah. So not complete. I still got to run some more, but I ran out of filament, and I ordered some more on Amazon, and it just came in. So well, I completed yours. Is done. The initial.
The lava falls.
Yeah, the initial lava.
Bill, we're gonna have to
fall,
build
it's just,
we're gonna have to build a segment what do you call it, like a thumbnail when Will comes on, so we can go, "Hey, Will, what you printing?"
Well,
yeah,
Johnny
yeah,
Sorensen beat you to the punch there.
Yeah, and then there's Rolo again, who every time so me and Rolo can't be on the same chat at the same time. It's a thing.
Well, we
Where,
don't want to cross the streams. It's
if
kind of
the
like
two of
Ghostbusters.
us appear on screen at the same time and we're able to directly talk to one another, who knows what will happen? The whole world.
Before
The
you
space-time
popped yourself
continuum will
completely
collapse.
out there, Rolo. Before you popped yourself completely out there, Rolo, I was going to say you can hang out in the green room.
Yeah.
So that we can bring, we can shuffle people around. Largo and I have just come to the conclusion that more than 4 people at once on screen is just not working out too well. So we'll rotate people as we can. So
Right. Part of it's due to the limits of our equipment we're broadcasting with, and part of it's just our inability to juggle that many cats.
yeah, well, it's kind of hard without actually
Yeah.
having to mute.
So if you
people
bring
there,
in
of
if you
course.
bring in more people, if you bring in more people, will that cause like a lot of lag and a lot of stress? Will it?
It can.
It can. But mainly it's because everybody wants to talk at the same time, and Largo and I are reluctant to mute people's mics, but we will. I didn't mute his mic. He muted his own mic, and now he's acting
Yes,
a fool.
he's being a smart aleck. I'm gonna attempt to get. There I am.
Uh-oh, wrong button. There you go.
There it is. I'm not
There we
sure
go,
how
we got you
well
back.
my signal's working, but I'll try to. If I start wigging out again, I'll just go to the audio.
I got you. Are you experiencing a rainstorm there in Guatemala?
I am, and unfortunately, due to the way our internet is provided, it's weather dependent. If we get really nasty thunder boomers, then our
Oh,
internet
look who
wigs
just
out.
showed up in the house. It's Ostradamus Toys. Hey, Ostradamus Toys.
There's
how's
our
it
man.
going?
There he is.
Man of
Proud of
the
him.
hour who we were talking about, he's going to have a live stream tonight. If I've got a wrench in the chat, find Ostradamus Toys link and stick it in the chat so everybody will know how to go over there and check him out later. And Will, unmute your mic.
Oh, I'm allowed to talk. Okay, fine. Jeez,
Good Lord.
if I'm allowed.
Don't make us put you in the crying corner. We'll put you in the crying corner if you act up.
Put you in timeout.
Well,
So,
like I said,
so you
other
got
than
the lava fall finished, right there, Will?
yeah, yeah, got the lava
Well,
fall finished.
I can expect that about what, this time next year in the mail?
Or the year after that, depending on
Yeah.
which way the wind blows. Because I just basically I get a balloon, I tie a string to them, I give it a little go see Bill,
That's
and
it.
I
Like
let it go.
Like a
Then it
message
goes
in the
up into
bottle.
the
but-
air and it pops and it lands in the
Yeah.
ocean somewhere.
Then it has a note and it says, "If found, kindly mail to Bill the Weird Fantastic Toy Adventure."
I've got a
Well,
question.
you know, you
now.
still do better than the was it the USPS because they're kind of hit and miss these days.
Oh, don't talk to me about the Postal Service and UPS and the Postal Service and FedEx have all gone to feces.
They've
Oh.
definitely had some tough days.
I've got a question for you, Will. You were making me a lava falls. Now you're also making a mutual friend of ours a lava falls as well. Does he want me to paint his for him and then send it to him?
I believe that's that was implied. I don't know if any direct reference or a direct inquiry was made to the Weird Fantastic Studios, but yeah, it was told to me that I might just send both of them over your way and then have them. And it looks like the one guy in the picture.
Why am I hearing this from you and not to the person in?
Because he's something happened to him recently.
He is indisposed.
He's been put under a spell, if you will. Something.
All
happened
right.
to him. I don't know what it is.
Would this be a yeah? I hear that whip cracking. Is this like we used to have a term for this, and I'm reluctant to use that into a family friendly show here. I'll say pee whipped.
Yeah, let's just say he's enamored and leave it at that.
Yeah, well, but he's enthralled.
Enthralled, yes.
Yeah.
You guys stick around in the green room after this over with. I got a hell of a story to tell y'all if I haven't.
About.
Well,
indeed.
Just wait. And listen, you guys over there in the chat. If you want to hear more of this kind of stuff that's not arable, that's funny as hell, become a Patreon of mine and hang out with me in the Patreons, and you can hear more of this.
Indeed, that's where the juicy bits are, is in the Patreon.
Absolutely. And if you're wondering how to get to my Patreon, eventually Nightbot will get around to telling you how to get to my Patreon.
Nightbot, my man, what's up? I always got to give a shout out to Nightbot.
He won't answer you. All he'll do is just tell you how to get to my blogs. Everything.
I'll just say like this. Hey, Nightbot, if you think I'm the coolest, just go ahead and plug this channel. Just keep plugging.
I'm a man. I could tell you the name of the thing. Shut up. No, he did it.
Yeah.
I'm not putting that on the screen, Rolo. There's a lady in the chat room, Rolo. Behave.
Yeah. Even Stinkor's,
No, Stinkor's like, that's my mom, man.
Yeah.
Got a bit of an itch there, so.
Yeah, I see.
Kinda itchy.
Stinkor got a little bit of blood butt there.
He's really digging in
I
there.
bet Stinkor don't wipe very good. What do you think there, Will?
I think he's got a some kind of scent gland or something.
Well, back in the day, he kind of had a hippie smell to him, right? It was patchouli.
Yeah,
I think it was.
They molded the plastic with patchouli.
Patchouli oil, yep.
Yeah.
And I think they overdid it to the point where if you have a vintage Stinkor figure, it still stinks to this very day. Now, when they did the Origins figure, they were going to try to replicate that. I don't think that worked out too well at all. No Stinkors that I've ever come across had the smell to them. Do you have an Origins Stinkor there, Adam?
No.
You don't?
Yeah, that's actually how I started doing this puppet. I took it right from my toy.
Oh, really?
Oh, you
Okay.
did?
So
Oh, cool.
you have an Origin. So does your Origin Stinkor?
But
have
it has a smell, it has a scent, but it's definitely not patchouli oil. It's not the same.
Okay.
And the
I've
only
never
other one that
smelled it.
smelled just like patchouli. Yeah. Well, the only other one that smells like patchouli pretty good is the classic. Classic smells pretty strong too.
It does. Well, I know that that Todd over at Hebro went and bought some patchouli oil on Amazon, and then he stuffed his Stinkor's buck inside the body with tissue paper
Yeah.
or cotton, and then he poured the patchouli oil in there.
Ooh, that had to be strong.
And then his wife
Yeah.
made him seal the thing in a plastic bag.
Well,
so
he
that she
he had to
didn't
put it in a bag because his wife didn't like it.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
who was the other scented Motu original? Was that Mossman? He smelled like pine
Boss
trees or
man
something?
smelled of pine. He smelled like pine saw.
Yeah, he
Well-
smelled like pine call. Yep.
It's an interesting gimmick.
And it was pretty
Ostradamus Toy
strong.
says-
Like, the vintage one wasn't too bad, but the classics was bad.
Ostradamus Toy says this vintage has the smell, but it's very
I can't
faint.
wait
His
for that.
Origins has a slight smell, but not nearly as potent as vintage. And Eldor says he has a vintage Stinkor and he still smells like roses. All right, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yeah, and we're looking forward.
Rotten
We're
ones,
looking
maybe.
forward to someday in this line seeing a Mossman, which I understand is going to be a Walmart exclusive because of the flocking. Walmart's willing to pay
Yep.
the extra to
Yep.
have those things flocked. So that may make it a little tough for
Yep.
like you Adam to get them because how do the Walmart exclusives get released in Canada?
So, well, I can tell you right now, in my area, they just don't come here.
You don't ever
We
see
don't
them.
see the exclusives at all. Like, we just don't. Not in my area. You'd have to be
that-
like maybe Toronto, like maybe Mega J Retro or something would probably get a hold of them, but here, no way.
So that means
So I
that,
have to get them on a secondary or third party market.
so that means that you don't
Pardon?
have a flocked Panther in your collection.
I do. What happens is after the exclusivity goes away, they will come to Toys R Us,
Okay. All right.
but it'll be like 6 months later. However, when that drops, they will.
You're going in and out there, Adam, and I think lightning must have struck Rolo. I mean, not Rolo, but Largo again.
Yeah.
Looking at the chat here, Ostradamus Toy says the Target exclusives don't show up either. I guess that Oz. I'm thinking Australia. See, Mike says I started to take just Origins Beastman and flock him up in green after I paint him green. Well, that's a good idea. I mean, it's the same buck, right? And Johnny Sorensen says the flock. You say, all right, man.
Yeah.
And Rolo says he's never seen a flocked Panther and never saw one, and doesn't have one. Well, I've got one for you, Rolo. It's just that I have to send it to Jim, and then Jim will send it to you, and that may take a minute, but we'll get you one. Don't you worry. All right, so we'll after you buy yourself
Yep,
some
and
more,
the
Adam froze.
The stink lines are a good indicator as to whether or not he's active.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's your signal is fading there, Adam. Hey, Will, get in the private
okay.
chat there. and tell
Give
him
me a
that-
sec here.
All right. Tell him his signal's kind of iffy in and out. And it wouldn't be
Yeah, that's my lovely Wi-Fi.
open mic show without a little bit of technical difficulties, folks. Hang in. And Ostradamus says, no, on
Yeah.
the East Coast, U.S., but I got to reach around the world. Okay, OZ, Ostradamus Toys. And Mike says that I did the same with the vintage Panther. Okay. No, don't send it to me. To IMS Warehouse. It's a spooky place. Okay. All right. There, Wilhelm is
Yeah.
back. He took a drag off of his old pipe there, and now he's
Ah,
back.
I was going to say the stink lines were good to let us know because once they froze, we knew that Adam was locked up. And I guess we could go on. I don't know. Am I coming in clear? You're coming in pretty good today, Bill.
Yeah,
I've got you.
my signal was iffy earlier today, but it's getting a little better as time goes by. Poor Largo down there keeps coming in and out. You can bring yourself back in, Largo. There we go. What I was going to ask you, Will, have you
Mine's
bought
off
any
and on.
more? When you buy some more filament, what have you got next online there for the old 3D printer?
Oh, I've got quite a few things. We have some little things around. Geez, why do I keep forgetting the name? Snake Mountain. Some Snake Mountain accessories that you guys requested. I've got planned. This is just there's just a little thing I printed up. I was running out. I only had a very little bit of that filament left, so you can see the difference in the color. You see like the bottom where it's a little darker.
Yeah, that looks familiar. That looks like a box of rockets or something that goes in
Yeah.
a mortar rounds.
Yeah, it was
that
from a GI Joe playset.
Right, I had that playset as a matter of
It's
fact.
a great little
Amazon.
item when you just have a little bit of filament left and you don't want to just waste it, So I just printed it as far as it would go, and then paused it, put the new filament in, and printed the rest.
It worked out well. You can paint that, and you'll never know.
Yeah,
the
you
difference.
can paint that. You just throw it in the background, and those little things like that are great to have.
So,
around
one
just
of the things
for-
that I know that you're working on, and I don't know if this is a secret or not, but I think it's openly known that you've taken some of those old vintage GI Joe small sets, and you're going to blow them up so that Action Force can play with them.
Yeah, that's right. And no, I actually just found the models online. But yeah, I think the one is not scaled, so I'll have to scale it to 1/12 scale. But that's the next project. That's Mr. Largo there would like to see. Hold on, let me see if my spine will let me turn around here.
I think I heard a pop or two when you turned around.
Old Checkpoint Alpha here.
Nice.
That's a little checkpoint. There's a little lever that goes here. I don't have all the parts to it, but and there's a little guy hiding in the top.
But it printed out pretty well.
Yeah, it printed out pretty nice. And we're gonna go ahead and then there's a little speed bump and a gate that lifts up. So that'll be fun. I'm gonna get one of those printed up for Largo. But someone actually. He put a bunch of those out online. So now some of those models can be scaled to 1/18 or 1/12 scale, but the guy mainly did them as 28 millimeter miniatures. So
okay,
for
like
tabletop
games. Yeah.
So most of the models, they at a distance obviously resemble the original toy, but not every little detail is in there. So if you really wanted to, you can print up smaller things or go in there and add some details to it as well. But if you just want something for shelf dressing or something like that, they work perfectly well just for that. It's not an identical duplicate to the original toy, but it serves the purpose for display purposes.
Yeah, and I plan on doing little.
Roller has a printer request there, Will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll see you in. Like I even said, if I started printing it now, right? This is just assuming all the files were perfect, everything worked. It would probably take me more or less time to go get a second job, work, swinging on the pole, doing whatever I got to do there to get the dollars, and then buy the attorney from a scalper on the secondary market. I could probably do that quicker than it would take to legitimately print this thing up.
That reminds me, there was a fellow named Pat Crawford who disappeared here a few years ago who was doing a lot of 3D printing for Superpowers. Matter of fact, he did the telephone booth playset that I have that Jim has a copy of as well. He was working on several things before he disappeared, and some of them actually came to fruition, and that was Brainiac's Skull Ship, based upon the unreleased toy idea. And the other thing that he did do, I saw pictures of the model, but he never actually sold any of these because it was too big. He did the Tower of Doom.
Wow.
Really?
That's
Really?
awesome.
Yeah, he did.
That's
And
pretty cool. And I think that's a perfect.
and then he disappeared off the face of the earth. He still has a Facebook page, but he hasn't posted anything on it in a long time. You'll go over there and you'll look, and people are posting to him, "Hey man, are you okay? We haven't seen you." Blah, 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 blah. And but there for a little while, he was running a 3D printing business called Repro Bubbles, and he was selling on eBay, and his stuff was selling like hotcakes. And then suddenly it all ceased. And that brings me to another thing. I was watching a YouTube video recently. I can't remember the guy's name. I was just flipping through, and he was saying the name of the video was "Why My 3D Printing Business Failed."
I think with any business, it's really just, I don't think a lot of people realize that when you start a business, it's going to take up all of your time because, the actual production of the part is only one part of it. Then you have to manage, you have to take off that hat, put on another one. Now you're the marketing and sales guy. Now you're order fulfillment. Now you're, and your life becomes this secondary job that you have.
Here's the thing, and this guy brought it up in his video, and it seems to be probably correct. The ability to get a 3D printer is not as hard as it used to be, and not as expensive either. And just a small 3D printer, you can print these files up in perfectly fine, and you can go to places like Cults 3D, and you can buy the STL files for like $1, $1.50. 50 cents I've seen, $3 at the most, and you can print the shit yourself. And as a result of that, nobody wants to spend the $15 to buy something that costs them pennies.
Well, that's what I said. Yeah, if it's a one-time thing where you think you'll never need another part, maybe just go ahead and spend the $10, $15 on a single part. But if you're an enthusiast and printing, or your toy hobby is pretty big, let's just say there's a room devoted to it, you may want to invest in a printer because it's going to be under $200. I mean, there's some guys here I know in the chat that have dropped more than $200 on a single toy, or maybe $100, or in one month even dropped $100. But after you print up, let's just say you buy a printer and you just buy replacement parts for your vehicles or replacement accessories for your figures. You could probably the printer could pay for itself in the first month if you just arm all of your guys on one shelf. You know what I mean? Based on what it's going to cost to go buy those vintage pieces, if that's okay with you, and that's a decision you have to make. But I think that it's definitely well worth it. That represents what you've spent on 3D printed accessories and parts.
I'm gonna pull myself up here and let you guys see some stuff that I got recently from Talos Dream Shop, which is, I don't know how long he's goes. Wrong one. There we go. I don't know how long Talos is going to last for. He's doing quite well at his business, but these little things, I think it's reasonable what he charges. $5 or so for like this is a goblet for the king or Prince Adam to drink out of.
Absolutely. I think that's great. It enhances your collection. You know what I mean? It's not repro. It's not, no one could argue that these aren't. That's great too. That chain. Look at that.
Ooh, I like
How much
that.
fun is that? Yeah.
And you guys
is that
may
plastic
remember,
for that chain, Bill?
What's that again?
Is that
Yeah,
plastic
I
for
think
the
that's-
chain, or is that a real chain?
No, that's
Adam, I
plastic.
think those
That's
are.
a 3D printed chain. The whole chain is 3D printed. How he does that, I have no clue.
They do 3D print in place designs that when you pull them off the bed, they are a functioning chain like that. They're really fun to watch videos of and fascinating. But yeah, that's all
awesome.
design.
For you guys who remember the very first episode of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, you may remember this little box right here.
Diamond Ray of Disappearance.
It is. And when you order this from Talos Dream Shop, you get this piece here, which is the closed box, and then you get this piece here, which is the open box, and that diamond actually comes out of that box, and it is made in a translucent blue plastic. I have it stuck in the box so it don't lose out with a little bit of magician's tricks.
Hey, Bill, you got some people that just jumped into the chat. Just wanted to give a quick shout out to Gap After
Oh,
Dark.
good.
You
Gap
got
After
Blue
Dark,
Harvest Toys, No Way Farms. Go ahead. You go ahead. Yep.
Yeah, Blue Harvest Toys, good to see you. No Way Farms, good to see you. It's good to see you guys. Glad y'all decided to pop in. We're
Yep.
just looking at some.
Ted Darklaw's back, and yeah, it's pretty awesome. And the World of Cardboard just made an appearance.
Yeah, and he also sold this little gun here. Now, you may think this is the gun from Castle Grayskull. It is not. It is significantly different from that gun in many ways, and it is actually made as a gun for T-Law to have, so T-Law can have a little gun.
Once
what
again,
else?
an awesome way to enhance your existing collection. And how
these
was
guys-
that very much, Bill? Or
It's just they cost between $5 and $10 depending upon the intricacy of the item. And,
yeah, well,
and
these
it's-
are
to me, it's a
great.
reasonable price. To me, that's a reasonable price considering the time and effort that it takes. I know that it takes to 3D print. Now, you guys may remember the Remco figures would come with these little knives, very reminiscent of the boot knife that was included with the very first Origins He-Man figure release. I think was an exclusive. But they also had this little clip that would go on their feet for the boot knife to fit into.
Yeah, I've
So-
seen that in some of your videos, right? You've
Yeah.
had that on a couple of the characters.
I do. I have. I think Conan has got this boot knife on his, and I also put it on the spacesuit that's in Castle Grayskull.
Very cool. And like this kind of stuff, I think for a business purpose, because one, you don't have to box them very much. What do they send them in an envelope or a little small box or something?
See this box? See this box
Yep.
right here? He puts them inside this little plastic envelope, and then he puts it inside this little box right here.
Yeah,
And this is the perfect box to hold this stuff in. I put everything in a little Ziploc bag.
perfect.
Now, I didn't buy this. He sent this to me as a special gift.
Yeah.
It is the Power Sword, but it has Skeletor's face on it, so it's an evil Skeletor Power Sword.
That's cool.
And the mold is not the mold that you see in Origins. It's actually made from the original Power Sword design that came with the vintage action figures. And
I
that
like
was
that.
that was a happy that he put in there to thank me for ordering so many different things at one time that when I ordered these from him. So this is the kind of stuff that you can get. It's small. It's not the kind of stuff that
I think that stuff is perfect. If you wanted to do a business, because you could print out a whole mess of them on one, print job. It wouldn't even take you that long.
Right.
But sorting, keeping those, collecting them, sorting them, and then shipping them out to someone, all takes time. So
So this is the way it comes. Of course, it comes by airmail all the way from Belgium. So
oh wow,
it takes a minute for it to get over here to the USA. You have to be a little patient with him, but it's not too bad. I think 3 weeks is what it takes for him to send those to me.
oh wow. Well, I mean, hey, I have nothing but respect for anyone out there that's making something themselves and able to support themselves on it, because that's just that's the dream come true. If you could create and then that thing you create sustains you, then what else could you want for? You know what I mean? It's got to be great. But I do know like another guy, I don't know him personally, but he runs he does custom cast heads for 1/12 and 1/18 scale figures. He sculpts them, he casts them. It's not 3D printed, but there's a bit of a delay from when you order it to when he can ship it to you, because he's doing it all himself. And people a lot of times will get real impatient.
One of the things that Talos does that I appreciate is the way he runs his Etsy shop. Is he doesn't put the item up for sale on the Etsy shop until he has a stock of it. When the stock runs out, he takes the item off the Etsy shop until he puts it back in stock again.
Great
So
way to
you're
do
not
things.
waiting
Yeah.
on him to print it. he's already got these items that are up for sale printed
Yeah.
already before he tries to sell them. And I think that is a good idea, because that's what a lot of guys get in trouble with, is they'll throw up an online shop real quick. Nothing's printed yet, and they'll wait for the orders to come in, and then they'll print to order, and then they'll get so far behind that they have to go out of business.
Yeah. And I think that's what happens to a lot of these guys. They don't realize that.
War Made of Cardboard says that he found the $5 set of Justice League from Spin Masters has gone down to just $3 now.
Hey, they sold out at every place around me. I picked up quite a few of them. So, yeah, pretty good. 6 figures for $3. You can't beat it.
Speaking of which, I just got a notice today that they're getting ready to package my figures of Phantom, Flash Gordon, and Being the Merciless that are the superpower size figures.
Ah.
And I've seen pictures of these. They have the same articulation as superpowers: neck, arms, legs, and knees. Okay. They are in the same stance as vintage superpower figures, and they're the same scale. So I can't wait for them to get here. I think they're called Power Heroes or something like that. You guys,
That's pretty cool. I think Largo got some of those too, right?
Did you send for those, Largo?
There was no. I'm trying to think. I've ordered so many different things. I kind of lose track of my pre-orders sometimes. There were some on the Big Bad Toy Store that was like the Rocketeer, and it's in that same kind of
That's a
5
different
PLA
line.
look. That's a different line.
Yeah, that's a different line. Yeah, but they're the same scale.
Mhm.
I'm gonna try to see if I can
interested
pull
in
this
those.
up. See if I can pull this up.
I am a big
don't know
fan
if
of
they're-
Buck Rogers and Flash Gordon and all that from back in the day.
I'm going to see if I can find them. I don't know if they're still in scale or not. Excuse me, still in stock. Here they are.
Yeah,
They're called
okay.
Power Stars. They're called Power Stars. And
Okay.
let me bring up the Flash Gordon figure here and let you guys look at it. I'm going to share this. Let me present.
Now, is it kind of a Buster Crab look like the classic cereal reel Flash Gordon, or is it a?
It's like the NECA figure, but it looks like superpowers.
Oh, okay.
And I'm gonna bring this into the stream here and let everybody take a look at it. There we go.
Okay.
King
I like
features
that.
Power Stars. They're called Power Stars. They're it says pre-order on here. I've already pre-ordered mine, and they say that mine are getting ready to ship. So they're here, but that's what the figure looks like. As you can see, it's the same stance as Superpowers. The buck looks almost the same. The articulation is exactly the same. The Flash Gordon comes with 2 heads. Okay, one head has got the cowl, the other head is the non-cowled head. It comes with a sword, gun. So that's what they look like. And Flash Gordon's not the only one in the group. Let me see if I can go back.
There's a Prince Thune, the
you
lion,
also have a
lion guy.
The Lion Man. Yeah, I didn't buy this figure. I just bought Flash Gordon and Phantom. You can see the Phantom there, and I got Ming the Merciless. But that Thun the Lion Man was also in the line. Going back, here's Ming the Merciless. Very, very much vintage looking there. Ming, like he looked in the comic strip, except for the coloration of his skin. It's white there. In the comic, he was actually yellow. So,
Right. That was more Alexander Raymond. That was his style.
yes. And let's see if we can find the Phantom on here. I don't see the Phantom.
Where's Dale Arden? You got to have a Dale. That's one
they
thing
don't
I've
have
noticed with a lot of these. They don't give us a Dale.
They never give you a Dale. They didn't give you a Dale in the Mattel line either back in the day.
True.
Now, the Phantom's also in the line, but I had searched for Flash, and then Flash Phantom didn't show up in the list. But you can, if you go to Big Bad Toy Story, Power Stars, I think that's what they were called, Power Stars Heroes. So
Right.
Now, from what I understand, there is going to be a second wave of these Power Stars. It's going to be an all-female wave. And the female figures are the Phantom Lady, if you remember that character, Bullet Girl, if you remember that character. These are vintage characters.
Oh yeah,
And I
Bullet
don't
Man
know-
and Bullet Girl were in Charlton Comics, I think.
Carlton, that's correct. And
Carlton, yeah.
the Phantom Lady has got an interesting lineage on that. Two different companies released Phantom Lady comics. At one time, DC Comics had the character in their lineup after they had bought the Carlton Comics.
Right. I remember the Phantom Lady being in the Freedom Fighters with Uncle Sam and the Human Bomb and
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
Black
It's-
Condor.
And then she wore two different outfits. The Golden Age Phantom Lady had a blue and red outfit. Her swimsuit outfit was blue with red trim on it. And then there was a second version that was more yellow and green. I don't know if they're the same character or not, but the one that they're going to release as a figure is going to be the blue and red version, which is Golden Age. It leads me to believe the character may be almost in public domain, perhaps.
Possibility.
And the Pope has shown up. Hey, Pope, what's going on, man? Good to see you, Pope.
Oh, how are you?
And Gojitron's in the house. Goji, what's going on, man? Good to see
Hey,
you.
Gojitron.
Gojitron says he needs that fun.
Hello.
Yep. Thun was in the original comics or comic strips, and he was also in the Filmation cartoon.
Yeah. The way Thun was presented in the original Raymond strips is more like that action figure that you just saw. The way he was presented in the Filmation cartoon, instead of that bearded, more human-looking face, he actually had a lion's head.
Right.
In the cartoon, which kind of wasn't exactly what Raymond was aiming for. I know that Jim Keefe, when he was doing Flash Gordon comic strips for King Features, as a matter of fact, he was the last artist that worked on Flash Gordon before the strip went into repeats, which it's still out today. It's still in a few papers. They're just doing repeats of Jim Keefe's strips. But Jim Keefe started out with Thun looking like he did in the cartoon, and he was quickly contacted by some vintage artists that were still alive and said, no, don't present him that way in the comic strip. Present him as Raymond did. And he went back and fixed Thun later on.
Yeah, you got to respect the lineage.
And Pope here in the house and just catching the live stream. Hope you're all well. Adam, if you're still there, I'm going to let you go for tonight, but it's good having you on the show, man. Okay.
That's fine. Yeah, no
thanks,
problem.
Adam.
Thanks a lot for having.
Yeah, man. If you want to hang out in the green
We'll
room,
see you
you
guys
can,
after.
and we'll talk later, or we'll just catch you next time. Okay.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
All right, man. We'll see you. All right. So, who else is here? World Rated Cardboard says, wow, I lost the feed for a little bit.
Oh.
I hope we're still in the air. I think we're still live.
Yeah.
And No Way Farm says, welcome back, Cardboard. I guess he was driving home. I know he has a drive home in the afternoon about this time. Hope you're doing
Yeah.
well there,
Well,
Cardboard.
Bill, those are really cool figures and a great. I love when they do compatible lines. You know, you get the
Yeah.
scale correct and the stance and everything, and they'll look really good next to your superpowers or joining your superpowers on some weird.
Exactly. That's where they're going to go live when I get them in the collection. Is they're going to go live in the case with the superpowers figures. Hey, what's going on there, Mike? Did you get a chance to see those Flash Gordon figures that are coming out? The Power Stars.
Which ones?
The Power Stars that are going to look like superpowers, but it's Flash Gordon, Ming the Merciless, Phantom, and
I seen that you were putting up. Yeah, I hadn't seen them yet.
yeah.
I would say that Bill. My only issue is that $22 seems like a lot for them, but I understand that they're a kind of a niche item there. And the production runs probably not, they're not getting a bulk discount running those off, or
And there is another toy company that's doing similar figures to these that are going to have like the Rocketeer in it. Kick, I think, is going to be coming out.
Yeah.
Other different figures.
So you kind of pay a premium for that, you know what I mean? And I guess
Well, that's one of the reasons why I didn't buy Thunder the Lion, man. And it's also one of the reasons why I'm probably not going to fully invest in the Lion. But hey, look, Flash Gordon, Ming the Merciless, and the Phantom can now live with my superpowers figures.
oh, definitely. I think things could get pretty weird and fantastic with that pairing.
Well,
So.
you know, I'm producing a video. I think you and Largo got a chance to see just a small hair of that, where I'm going to show off some of my weird and fantastic adventures that my toys go on, just to give people an idea of what the channel really is. It's not just a 3, 4, 5 talking heads talking about toys. The channel was really originally created for me to show off the adventures that my toys go on, hence the weird and fantastic.
Guys. Late at night when you're all sleeping, when the cameras are off, Bill's toys get up to some pretty weird things.
They do. They actually do. And I want to try to bring that more into the YouTube channel. It's all over the blog. And if you go to my DeviantArt page, have you ever been to my DeviantArt page, Will?
Oh yeah, you know I have. I've been all over
that. DeviantArt page is filled with wondrous wonder. You can see crossovers happening all the time. One of my favorite pictures, and I just throw that out there. I'm not going to show you anything. That's just a tease there. But if you remember Han Solo and Greedo in the cantina, well, what if that happened down at the mall in the Dairy Queen? Just think about that. Han Solo and Greedo. Instead of in the cantina, they're in Dairy Queen down at the mall. Okay, that's weird and fantastic toy adventures right there in a nutshell. And what's the chat going on about here? Where's Major Matt Mason? I believe Major Matt Mason was released recently by Mattel with Pulsar and one other character, and it was an exclusive set. Will, do you remember that? Am I remembering correctly?
Say that again. I'm sorry. I was linking the Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures blog.
World Made of Cardboard wanted to know where Major Matt Mason was, and I was saying they released a Major Matt Mason figure along with Pulsar and one other in this small scale, but it was like a con exclusive set.
You know I didn't see them. I'm not really familiar with that. So, but was that Eagle Force Returns or one of those lines? I think if you look on Big Bad Toys,
it was something Mattel did as a con exclusive.
Oh, okay.
I seem to remember them going on about it. I don't know when, where, how long ago it was. I know what it was about. It was, you have to release something like that every once in a while just to keep the trademarks going. No Way Farm says little man's waking up. All right, well, good to see you. No Way, you go take care of the little man. And Rolo's back in the house. I'm gonna bring Rolo up on the stream. What you got there, Rolo, my man?
No, I'm still figuring around with the shark, right? Because I'm thinking about the different models. The size I just took over the discussions with Jim, but I can tell you there will definitely be like a shark ship, a mothership, and there's a little bit of a backstory.
Right.
But this is just what I'm doing.
Let me break in there, Rolo. And I want to put this image in your head. Okay, hold that shark up on the screen. Hold the shark up on the screen. All right. His head needs to have this harness that goes around it. Okay.
All right.
That harness has got these big giant lasers that kind of rotate like this. They don't have to rotate out like this, but they can.
So look, this is exactly what we're doing for. I'm just looking for the right base. And right now I'm thinking of 6 different characters here that will have different armorage and different abilities, therefore, and different lookouts and different names as well, right? Not to trigger too much, right? Hey, there is Goja. Gojatron, I have some good news for you. If anything is going good, on Sunday, I'm going to get your Messenger Z, Homer Simpson.
What about
All right.
Bill?
Yo.
What about something like this? Look at this.
There. That's a good
Exactly.
idea too.
No,
I
no,
mean,
no. It's just I'm working anatomically on that to have a base for everything. But this is what we're reaching for.
There
Yeah.
you go.
yeah. What toy line is that from there, Mike?
That's the 200X Motu line.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. It
Yeah.
looks like a shark with it's got these lasers and it's like
Yeah, it's got all kind of.
Yeah, it looks like more like a killer whale or something, but like
Yeah.
the face. But yeah, can he like the guys could ride on the back of that? That's like Word World
Yeah.
Masters of the Universe or something.
Yeah, I mean, you got to see everything.
I'm gonna run back over here to the chat real quick. Gojitron says that the figures that I was talking about are the Secret War style, but it was Matt Mason, Pulsar, and Big Jim. And someone did a video about it. Yes, and I remember that. But he wasn't the only one that talked about those.
I have to research that definitely.
Johnny Sorensen
But
wants to know, is this
as I
scheduled or
say, I
improv
already got
too?
some scratches ready. So for me, I'm developing kind of obsession for those guys. Although you say it's a joke, but I like them, and I'm developing a little bit of a story, and I'm
Well,
sketching them.
once
So
again,
I
Rolo.
would I would develop around this, right? I wanted it bigger.
Don't go
but
into
you-
too much detail, Rolo, because if you want to see the sketches and the stuff that Rolo's working on in the future, I'm going to do a Patreons only stream, and Rolo's going to be the main character in that, showing these things off, and we will all get a chance to put our input on that Patreon only stream. Stay tuned, Patreons. If you're not a Patreon, go over to patreon.com to my Patreon page and just give me a little money and sign up for a month or two. And
because at least it will not present it anywhere else, right? Just here, and you should. Me, myself, and I appear on the Patreon board, so I can say that. Become a Patreon.
and More Made of Cardboard says lasers. We need lasers. We're working on that. We're working on that. Working
In
on
that situation, we need anything. We need
And
stones.
Bill,
The more
did you
we
mention
place-
that Gojitron mentioned that someone did a video on that?
He also showed those off in his video as well, if I'm not mistaken. But
yeah,
the-
I think he was.
the
I think the
someone
someone
he's
he was
speaking of
talking about
started it.
was it was
Yeah, the
Gojitron.
someone he's speaking of started it, but yeah, I think Gojitron actually got the figures. I'm jealous there, Carl. Jealous.
And look at Thanos Copter.
Yeah, the Thanos copter's in the house. Hey man,
Hey.
Oh,
hey, good to see you in the chat, man. I haven't seen you around here in these parts in a while, so it's good to see you, Thanos copter. All right, so I'm going to shuffle some folks out. Mike, I'm going to throw you back in the green room, bring Largo back in the stream. And Largo, turn your mic on. Let's see if we can hear you, man.
Hello.
Yeah.
hello.
There you are.
I'm having serious signal issues tonight, guys. So
Yeah,
apologies.
Adam was too. Adam, I had to cut Adam on out because his signal just kept screwing around with him. But we'll see Adam again sometime in the future. And we were just talking about the Big Jim, Pulsar, and Matt Mason figures that were in the Secret War style that came out as a con exclusive. Were you aware of those, Largo?
I passed on them. I was very disappointed that they didn't give them articulation more like the original figures.
Yeah.
I mean, Secret Wars was fine and all, but those weren't Secret Wars characters. Those were characters from the classic Mattel days. And I really would like a Big Jim because, well, my name's
yes, I
Jim,
played
and
with
I had
it.
the original when I was a kid.
Exactly. I had the van. I had this stack of wood that you could disarmor,
Yeah,
and I
karate chop.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, and I don't know what shit. So I would love to have that, but just what you say, it wasn't that. It wasn't that at
Yeah.
all. It was far away from that. It was just another rip off. It was just
Well,
like
the thing about, and I don't know what con it was. Maybe you remember, Jim. I don't, or maybe Gojitron can tell me. But those figures were released for one reason and one reason only, and that was to secure a trademark. That's
More
it.
than likely.
yeah.
Yeah.
And War Made of
it's a
Cardboard
shame.
says, War Made of Cardboard says he had an original Pulsar figure. I always wanted one, but never got one personally. He said he was interesting, but I always thought he was a little gross. Well, I always thought that the Pulsar was actually Slim Goodbody. I thought that
I remember
the
Slim
Pulsar was
Goodbody.
a figure of Slim Goodbody, if you remember who that was.
So I
He
never
was-
grew up too much in my life, but I have to say something about this. Nothing is for little girls.
Blue Sasquatch wants to know, is this live? No, Blue Sasquatch. This is a repeat of a show from last week, man.
That's right.
Let's see.
Yeah, sorry you couldn't catch us live.
Yeah, no. World Made of Cardboard says, I think I had a Big Jim too. Did his face change to be angry? Well, there were several characters in Big Jim. There was his friend, I forget, Big something or another. He was another character. And then there was the bad guys. There was a guy with a hook for a hand, and he had a metal jaw. They reused that idea for Trap Jaw, believe it or not.
Is that right?
They actually used Big Jim's buddies Buck and Head to make a Tarzan figure. They released it wasn't labeled as Big Jim, but they used the same molds and everything to make the Tarzan figure.
There was a Big Jim Tiger, which I have literally, which is Battle Cat.
The Tarzan's Black Panther was a repaint of Big Jim's Tiger. Yes.
Yes.
But the Tarzan figure, and I don't know if Big Jim did this or not, but Tarzan figure, when he had these kind of rubbery arms that had a ratchet in them. And when you pull it together, his muscles would pop up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was a Big Jim gimmick. He had that ability as well. It kind of messed with the articulation, but it was kind of cool that he could flex his muscle. The original Big Jim just had a.
I'm sorry, Sasquatch, man. You're gonna have to catch the show live next week. This is a repeat, man. Sorry.
That's it. The original Big Jim had just had a stock face, but in the later, when he became part of the Wolf Pack, they did one that had a face changing gimmick where he could be, angry face, or he could be his normal face. And that was kind of a strange gimmick towards the end there, but he did have a cool Corvette. I wish I had gotten.
Oh, Jesus.
You remember the Corvette, Rollo?
Oh, yes.
Does Moss Man still smell like a moldy basement? I thought he smelled like Pine Sol, personally. I don't know. Mike says that he saw a box set at Walmart.
By someone who's called Sasquatch, right?
Well, Sasquatch has got to smell all of his own, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
You've been squatching there, Jim. Largo, you've been squatching there. You kind of know a little bit about squatches.
I have. Going squatching with the fellas, you learn that there's a certain musk to the Sasquatch, and some people call him the skunk ape for that. But we don't hold it against him.
No, and Manic Plastic there, our buddy Mike, says he saw a box set at Walmart of the Doctor Who set. There was 3 eras of Doctor Who. They're doing that because they're trying to re-release those DVDs that have already come out, again, repackaged in different ways, because those DVDs sell. The DVDs that have not been selling are the ones with Jodie Whittaker in them. And I feel bad for Jodie Whittaker because she's a wonderful actress. They teamed her with a terrible showrunner, and the writing went way downhill on that show, to the point where they had to bring Russell T Davies back, bring David Tennant back. We're all waiting with a bated breath to see how this all turns out. I have no hope. I have no hope for this. This was my.
Oh, this is sink. This boat is sunken. There's no new interest. You lost all the old fans with everything else that you do. And Bill, I have to give you a little bit more the hard way on it. Jodie Whittaker, okay, she might be a nice actress wherever she was a nice actress, but in this one she wasn't. And as I do understand my profession, it is they propose me a job. I'll take it or not, but if I take it, I do the goddamn best for the money that I can give, right? That's the thing. And she didn't. She just didn't. Apart from the bad writing or whatever, there's nothing, including Miss Whittaker, comprehensive in the last 3 or 4 seasons, right? Absolutely nothing. And I agree to you. They drove it so hard. yeah, that there will be no new interest created on that, because the fans are old and we are all disappointed, if not scared away for miles. And new fans are simply not there, because there are no fans for this type of things.
All right, you're
Yeah.
preaching at the choir now, Rolo. What I was going to say though was there probably was no bigger Doctor Who fan in this collection of wonderful heads on screen than I at one time. I've watched this show when I was a kid on PBS, starting with Tom Baker. I watched it all the way through till Colin Baker came in as the Doctor. Then PBS went back, showed us all of John Pertwee. Then they went back even further. They showed us some of the first Doctor. They showed us some of Pat Troughton's episodes, what few of those that still existed. And then all the way through to Sylvester McCoy again, I watched all the way to the bitter end. And then the show went on hiatus for a number of years. It was supported only by a novel series that was released by Virgin Books until the BBC took the license away from them so they could write their own books when the Paul McGann TV movie came out, which wasn't all that good, but Paul McGann was excellent in it, and we loved him as the Doctor, the Eighth Doctor. And then the series was revived in 2004 by Russell T Davies, and we all got on board with it, and then it had a high with David Tennant, and then it started going down with Matt Smith. Even Peter Capaldi, although he's a great, wonderful actor, his episodes were good. The series was going downhill at that point. And then when they brought Jodie Whittaker in, it was almost like it went off the edge of the cliff and down into the ocean, bashed upon the rocks to a point to where I have an entire DVD collection of each and every story, all the episodes in order on my shelf. And then it comes to an abrupt end down here. I even had a lot of the Big Finish stuff that they did with Paul McGann that filled in the gap. I have all that stuff in there. And then you get to Jodie Whittaker and everything just stops at that point. And I have determined I'm not going to invest in buying any more DVDs of Doctor Who episodes that are new. I will watch the stuff online. I will retch and complain and rant if necessary, but I'm not going to buy anything. And Manic
That's a good
Plastics
point
says,
that you say there. React if necessary, because this is also a part of the problem, and it can be mentioned one time on this channel as well. There is a lot of people reacting on all the stuff because that's what they're living off, and this is what they need. And any way they're going to review it positively or negatively, no, we're going to react on that if necessary. So if it's provoking us out, we're going to say something to it. If it's pleasant to us, we're going to say something to it. And otherwise, we're just going to keep our nice mouths shut. Everybody should enjoy what they like to enjoy, right? No problem.
Yep. I tried giving the new Who a try, but after Peter Capaldi, the writing just got so bad I gave up.
Yeah. And 99% of the people give up. Wilhelm is doing the dance. Probably he's playing Twister, thrown back to the 90s.
Now, see, now that they've unmuted me, I finished my rant. But I'll tell you guys, it was the greatest rant of all time. You guys missed it. Sorry, I can only do this once.
I can do this all the time. I got problems to do other things, Willem.
Rolo has 99 problems, but a Wilhelm ain't one.
No, ain't one.
Johnny Sorensen says he wants Tom Baker Blu-rays. They're pricey. Well, speaking of which, okay, first of all, I will say this. I've got everything on DVD. It's not on Blu-rays, and I'm not going to repurchase all this stuff on Blu-rays because it was never done in that scale anyway. It was all made for 4x3 television sets, and it was not in that high quality. I don't care what they've done to it to try to make it better. What I've got's good enough. and
I'm
I
sorry,
went down that route
I'm
with
sorry,
Star
I'm sorry.
Wars.
I just wish I had a phone to show you what I'm seeing right now. My neighbor again with a kind of bamboo stick connecting her house electricity with the main line that is in the air there. You cannot believe what's happening here. It's just like
Unfortunately,
wow.
I can because
Listen,
that
well,
happens here too.
you may think that that's something, but I see this shit around here on a daily basis because, yes, I live in an area very similar, very rural. So yeah, people stealing electricity, people stealing cable. It happens all the time here where I live. But going back,
So
let's look through the chat
I'm
here.
still waiting my first electricity bill here. As you know, if
And,
I figure out that it's far more than my discotheque behind me is supposed to be, well, we have to talk.
Yeah,
well, you
World
know,
Made of Cardboard brings up a good one.
people talking about Blu-ray versus DVD. All right. I will tell you, I went down this road with Star Wars and George Lucas, and I'll never go down it again. Okay. So if we all remember Star Wars, VHS
What a
tapes
pity!
came out.
What a pity! What a pity! It was good.
So we had to run out real quick, and we had to spend all of our money to buy those 3 VHS tapes.
We got him on.
Special editions. Yes, I don't care what anybody says. Han shot first.
Sure.
Did we
100%.
Yeah, well, you're running the show now, Mr. Willem.
I know. I'll stop.
Anyway,
doing that.
so
Keep
I
censoring
bought all
me.
the VHS tapes. Then the special editions came out. So we had to go get the special edition tapes. And then the DVDs came out. So we all had to run out and buy the DVDs. And then they came out with the super special edition DVDs.
Oh, people,
Then they came
whatever
out-
you're
then
in,
they
Don't
came
forget
out
the
with
laser
this
disc.
program is
original
about how
special
to
edition.
lure a fish. This program is about how to lure a fish, and we just caught one. Bill, please continue.
All right, so I came to the conclusion that when the Blu-rays came out, George Lucas could eat my ass. I'm not buying any more Star Wars DVDs. I'm not buying those more Star Wars tapes. I'm not buying no more Star Wars Blu-rays. As a matter of fact, if I had my way, I would change the ending to the Return of the Jedi. To the Ewoks are playing their little drums, and we see all of the Galactic Empire celebrating the fall of the Emperor, and then the camera zooms out until we see the entire galaxy. And we can see the white core of the galaxy. And then we zoom into the white core of the galaxy until the screen is nothing but white. At this point, George Lucas walks onto the screen holding huge bags of money in his hand and laughs. The end.
Georgie boy is just an old man that I even cannot be very angry about that. So he gave away the whole life and the whole creativity, and he did a lot of good stuff. So I understand as a certain point when it happened, when Disney came up with the offer, that he did it, right? And when Disney came up with the offer, you have to be fair, Bill. This was still a time where at least me, having children at that age, was a trustable customer of Disney still, right? And I didn't have any problem to have my children spending some television time watching some Disney stuff. I felt safe and secure doing that. I was reviewing things like Nickelodeon or anything, but Disney was a safe player for me, right? What it is now and what it made out of Star Wars, what Lucas in the meantime was willing to
in Lucas's defense, when he sold that to Disney, he didn't realize what was going to happen. I don't think. And a War Made of Cardboard.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. It's what I'm saying. He thought probably somebody will take the energy and the money that's necessary to bring that to another space.
I hear them ducks quacking. Narg, narg.
Yeah, it's
Narg, narg.
Sorry,
Narg, narg.
Quick.
All right, real quick.
Is it narg? I thought it was narg, Rollo. Narg, narg.
All right.
Narg, narg.
Made a Cardboard says he's not buying anything Star Wars. Anything he grew up with has been trash.
I hear it now. I hear it now, Rolo.
James Salzberg says, doing family time. I'll catch the replay. Thanks there, Salzberg. War Made a Cardboard said, yeah, it's time to feed those ducks. Yeah, it's duck time. All right, so guys, we're going to go, and I'll see everybody later. Glad y'all all stopped by for the show. We're going to go ahead and say good journey to everybody, and we're going to hit the ending. Bye, everybody. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye.
Special thanks to these supporters on Patreon. Without your help, these adventures would not be possible. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed today's adventure, please hit like and subscribe and share the video.